What's going on, Mongs? It's me, SemiMong, and today we're back on Crowfall, and I have finally got my plan down to a T in terms of gatherers and crafters. So today we're just going to go through what races and classes I use to gather, and yeah, pretty much it's just tips to help out solo players like myself, or new players as well, just a general helping hand and guide on what to sort of focus on. So as a quick rundown before we actually get to the character selection screen, as a sort of solo player, I'm really focusing on my rune making for harvesting tools, my blacksmithing for weapons, and then of course leatherworking to go alongside blacksmithing for armor as well. So in a nutshell, I've got enough tools, or I've got a variety of tools that I can make from rune making. If I actually just click on it now, which is also stacked in experimentation, points and success, so I can create a high quality tier of any tool I want and then go out and just gather whatever resources I want. And then in terms of just sort of a other production, I want to focus on weapons, because weapons and rune making both sort of tie into the main resource of ore, and then I can sort of have two subcategories of ore, and then two subcategories of stone and wood, because obviously with weapons you need wood from trees to create weapon grips, which is one of the components, and then you also need stone for armor within blacksmithing and the rune stone tools in rune making. So there you can see I'm sort of focusing the rune making first, because obviously you need the ore and the stone, the weapons from blacksmithing because I can use that same ore and that same stone, and then lastly we'll work on leatherworking, because obviously leatherworking is a bit of a tough one. But with that being said, let's jump into the character selection screen quickly and just have a look at what we're going to be doing. So on that basis, on the fact that I'm a solo player that wants to create tools, weapons and armor, sort of the main three categories of the general gameplay. Of course you've got necromancy, you've got alchemy, and you've got jewel crafting, but they're sort of just off categories that a lot of the time you actually need buddies to go out gathering with you to mine the mother nodes. I forgot what they were called there for a second. So with that being said, I've actually gone for a Gwynisian as my main gatherer. So if I press escape quickly and just go onto my skill tree again, you'll see here that on the monster tree, if we go onto Gwynisian, he's not got any mining or racial nodes, he's only got wood. But if we back up and go through to the underfoot and then the initial monster tree, you can see we've got mining here, and then we've got stone or quarrying in the monster tree. So all together, it really encompasses what I want as a solo player. You've got mining, so you can get ore for your rune tools and your weapons. You've got quarrying or stoning racial nodes to help towards the just stone gathering, and then you've got wood nodes as well, or logging nodes. Now the reason I'm looking for these woodworking, logging, quarrying and stoning nodes is because obviously if you go up to the excavation, as I said, rune tools and weapons take ore, and I'm actually going to be specializing in the ore specialization. So that's the area that I'm not really going to be too lackluster in. I'm going to get a lot of ore, a lot high quality of it, and it's just I'm going to be more encumbered with ore than I say am stone or wood, because I've not specialized in those gathering trees. And it is really stone and wood. I know you can use leather for armor, but as I said, it's really the stone and the wood you need to go to rune tools and the weapons. Because we need more ore, I'm trying to sort of supplement, or I don't know what, I'm trying to make up the excess amount of power loss that I've not got from specializing in the wood and stone trees with racial nodes. And of course having racial nodes that help out wood on the Gwynisian and racial nodes that help out stone, with racial nodes that further help me out mining, it just seems that the Gwynisian is the obvious choice. And of course the Gwynisian has burrow, which is stealth, so if I need to get away, if I need to hide, I can. So really, as a main gatherer, I've got my Gwynisian. So let's return back to the character selection screen. To couple this up and sort of finish it off, I've gone for a secondary gatherer. I did mess around with a few others. I've decided not to use these races or classes, but I've gone for a secondary gatherer of an Elkin. And this is because, sort of tying it back into the skill trees again, as I said, the Gwynisian here gets racial nodes that really do help out in the areas that I'm lackluster, the stoning and the woodworking. If I go onto the Sylvian, you can see it's actually got, there we go, racial nodes towards skinning and leatherworking. So although I'm not going to be there for a very long time, when we eventually get down to leatherworking and start creating armor and whatnot, if I ever need to go out and do a mass skinning, gather, whatever, harvest, I would just switch up to my Sylvian, just because it's got that little bit of an edge in racial nodes. Because I'm just not going to be down to, where is it, specializing in the skinning or the animal tree. even before I've gone through stone and wood first of all. But guys, that is the racial and class choices that I've gone through. To sum it up, we are just picking the Gwynisian and the Elkin, the Gwynisian to help out mining, quarrying, and woodworking, which all encompass rune making and weapon making as a whole. And then later down the line, we'll switch to the Elkin for the skinning and the leatherworking, which supplements the armor and sort of completes that whole armor triangle. Of course, you would have the stone already from previous harvesting trips. You'd have the ore specialization. It's really just the leather, the skinning, the hide that you sort of lackluster in. And of course, with the Gwynisian having no racial nodes towards leatherworking or skinning, it is best to just switch it up into something a little bit more viable. The Elkin also has Trailblazer. It doesn't have stealth, so you are going to be running around a lot faster. And that sort of segues into the last section I want to go through, which is disciplines. Now, I've gone for Gwynisian, as I said, because he's got stealth and plenty of other reasons. Usually I'm running the mining discipline to get that +1 to the harvesting pips, and then more just plentiful resource when I'm mining. Of course, mining and ore is the main resource here. I've then gone for Villian, and I've gone for this to get Seasoned Hand, which greatly decreases harvesting tool decay. There is a secondary one here that we could go for, Hoarder, which actually gives you passive. It gives you a passive of granting stamina when you hit a weak point. So the two differences here is that you can either go out for long harvesting trips and not have to worry about your tools breaking, or you can go out for long harvesting trips, bring a few other tools with you, although that will take a little bit of more preparation, and then not have to wait around, say at the rank 10 nodes when you run out of stamina, for your stamina to recharge just to finish off the node, because hopefully you'd hit a few of those weak points while mining it, and you'd be able to basically gather a high tier node, rank 10, rank 9, without having to stop. But once again, that all depends on what type of rune tools you've got. Of course, you can have an amazing rune tool plus 40 and 50, and it would just destroy a rank 10 node, and you would be able to destroy one within one full stamina bar. It's just at the moment, I'm noticing with the intermediate tools that I'm using and the weaker rune tools that I'm running out of stamina. So potentially switching it up to this so you don't run out of stamina, but then your tools will decay like, ridiculously quickly. And then just to finish it off, I've got Expansive Mind to give me an extra power slot down here. Shadow's Caress, so when I do try to escape as a duelist, when I'm in stealth, if I'm low health, my health regen will start going up a little bit quicker. And then I've got one more slot for another minor one, I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to look to see if there's a speed one, so as a Gwynisian I can get Trailblazer or Trailmaster, but I'm pretty sure that is a major discipline. But guys, I hope this information has helped you out on how I sort of approach gathering and harvesting. If it has, be sure to leave that like down below. Get involved in the comment sections, I shall reply, be interactive, just let me know what you think about how I'm sort of approaching gathering and harvesting. If you've got any tips or queries, be sure to ask them. But yeah, check out the description for links to my Amazon and Redbubble stores for for t-shirts and products from your favorite gaming franchises. And I shall see you in the next video.